Okay, I believe that we're up. I believe we're up and running. Let me do the open. Hold on one second. Let me minimize this. Okay, let me do the open here. Drop that on the people.
Welcome
Boom.
back to the Hank
All right,
Strange situation.
people, make sure you
Lifestyles
subscribe,
of the
thumbs
locked
up,
and loaded.
ring the bell so you can be notified. We are live. Jazz hands, come on, let's do it. Adam, I know you didn't forget about this. Mike, you're going to have to do jazz hands. No shaking of the heads. I want to see some jazz hands. Let's. Oh, boy. All right, we are live. I hope you got your big girl panties on. We are live. This is episode 438 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast, coming to you live from our Gainesville studios here. And tonight's episode's called Florida Man Has Gun Rights Restored. Thankfully, that's good. And rally at Texas State Capitol. We've got special guests. We've got Adam. Adam's here representing, obviously, IWI as well as Hollow Sun. He's got,
Absolutely.
He's IWI'd out. I mean, there you go. Okay.
Gotta represent, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So he's here to talk guns and all that kind of stuff, and he's got a cool gun from IWI. I don't know if any of you guys have this out there yet. You want to tease that a little? What? What is it? What is it? I mean, just it looks like a Tavor, but what is it?
Tavor 7, the new 308 bullpup from IWI.
All right, there you go. So Mike's got that, and I'm sure he's got some other cool things here to talk about. I'm sorry, Adam has that. Adam has that. Mike, there's Mike. Mike, what are you? You've got some guns. I see you're all Walthered out. Shout out to Walther that sponsors the show.
Oh yeah, Walther. That's my posse who I rode with.
Oh,
But right now I only got one Walther because I went to the hospital, got back from the hospital, and I really didn't have time to go down and grab anything out the safe.
Okay. Well, one Walther. Which Walther is it? What you got?
It's the everyday carry, the PPQ.
Okay. All right.
And
How come we can't see this one? I mean, I only have like a sign. You actually have one of these.
Yeah, actually, I have one, but
where is it?
I might be trying to work something where I might put a hollow sun on it so I can do the carry optics division.
I don't know. If we only knew someone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just
gonna
waiting on a special invite or that secret handshake.
I'm gonna have to check into my Rolodex, see if I know someone that could possibly help you out. I don't know, man. I have to think about this.
That would be appreciative.
We'll hook him up.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got these gentlemen here. We're going to talk to you guys, of course, see what's going on with everyone out there. As you guys are coming in, please smash the thumbs ups. All right, we appreciate it. For everyone coming in here, let me see. There was someone gave us a couple of bucks already. I got to find it because I think that happened before we start. Okay, here we go. Armament and Axes gave us couple of bucks here. He says, start the show already. Damn it, Hank, you slacker. Jeez. We were only like 2 minutes late. Just 2 minutes. Okay, but you're right. We should have started early. I have to put on makeup, unlike these other guys, I don't wake up like this. This is lots of makeup and plastic surgery. Okay, so let's see. I don't know. Maybe we should do some shout outs. I haven't done that in a while. But everyone that's coming in, please smash the thumbs ups. Obviously, you could comment here. Share the video if you can. Let everyone out there know that you're watching us. I see Michael Bender's out there. Shout out to him. We're going to talk about Michael Bender and his family here. That's one of the news things in the title that we're going to talk about. Because he's related to that Florida Marine that they came after CCW. We've also got the Archangel, Richard Monders coming in from England. Special K is out there. Armament and Axes as well. Let's see who else we got. The Archangel, Chris Bullis. Let's see here. We got Richard Hughes is out there. Randy Peacock. Also, Appalachian Gunrunner, I see. DCG 44s. YMH is out there. Gibson Fender is out there as well. Let's see who else. Applebite is out there. Shout out to Applebite. Kathleen Music Lover. Also David Cardinal. Shout out to him. Stephen Hyatt. Let's see who else. John Dieter. Bricks is out there. CB's out there. The Juice is out there. And Mika is out there as well.
Who isn't out there, Hank?
Yeah, everyone's out there. I don't know, man. Everybody's out there. Walther Arms is out there. I'm just trying to scroll through this as fast as I can. Boss Hog is out there. Chris, if I miss someone, I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Eric Hammond, who I think I said, some people get twice. Jerry Parker also out there. Everyone's smashing thumbs ups. James Miller as well. Sick and Insane. Master Sergeant Poppy. Robert Ayala out there. SoCal Gunner out there. Break It with the Bullets. Killer Ratchet. Okay. Some good names. Some good names coming in here. All right. So shout out to everyone. You guys are here. What's going on with you? Let's start with Adam. Have you come in through the new system? This your first time on the new system?
This is my first time on the new system, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. How is it? How's it working out for you?
I like it. I think it works out well. It seems streamlined too. It's nice and easy.
It's a little bit easier. Yeah. I'm running everything, so that's gonna.
Hey, I trust you.
Yeah. Really?
Technical difficulties on the way.
I have a big faith at this point.
Yeah, anything could happen. I could get distracted here. Something, anything could go wrong. So what have you? Fill us in on what you've been up to, man.
Mostly finally getting to shoot this year. Trade shows are kind of done, so we're finally hitting the ranges. My buddies over at C4 Shooting Center here in Madison, Ohio, just bought a range. So now I've got a local range. We reach out to about 350 yards. And then that's been nice because we've been, as we already teased earlier, been shooting the Tavor 7, the 308 bullpup, and put a Primary Arms ACSS on top of it. Been having a lot of fun with this guy. And we're really getting ready for the Kalashnikov match. So I got the Galil all decked out and ready to go.
Wow!
Because we'll be running 7.62 by 39, and Jeremy from IWI will be running 5.56. We got Dave Hartman. We got we got Kareen. We got a bunch of people going to that one. So we showing IWI and Holliston all over the place, running the Red October match in Vegas. In October.
All right. So Jeremy's still competing, huh?
Jeremy is still competing. That and busting my balls for everything.
Well. I mean, it is Jeremy, so.
Right.
That's going to happen until he's old and gray,
Right.
At this point, I think he just has a couple of gray hair. I don't know if no one else out there knows who we're talking about, but if you do, then you know what we're saying.
Yeah, you're just totally legit.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I know him. Anytime he sees me, he's a ball buster.
Oh, yeah. He enjoys it a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then I guess I almost forgot we were running the new IWI Masada too.
Oh,
that kind of hit the market big this year.
Yeah,
so I've been
man.
running this in carry optics and in production division for USPSA. Kind of going back to the roots and doing a lot more USPSA and a little bit less UML this right now.
So what optic do you have on there?
I've got the Hollow-Sun 507 up there.
Oh.
That's the that's one that's got a 2 MOA dot 60 or a 32 MOA ring and then 32 MOA ring with a 2 MOA dot inside.
Okay.
So I run the circle and the dot, just easier to find them. And then a lot of times if there's no shoots, I'll run the circle only, just a big old freaking 32 MOA ring, and just blast with that thing because it's about the size of an alpha. So
right. Actually, quite a few people that look at the chime in here on the show have the Masada, so that's cool.
Good.
Yeah.
This one's hit really hard in the market, and I think they're sold out almost everywhere. So it's been a really good thing for IWI.
Yeah, we actually did a show with Joe from 13C Gun Reviews, where he had one. He actually had I think he was it an advanced model that I can't remember, but anyway, he did a good video on it, and we had him on when that video came out, and we were talking about it. So pretty cool. And then I've seen guys saying that they're coming in. How are you liking it so far?
I'm liking it a lot. The one thing I'm glad that IWI did is the original one, this trigger frame came up at an angle like this, and you couldn't run flashlights on it. Mm-hmm. So it was just at a weird angle, and you couldn't do it. And they took the time to go back and redo the frame to make it straight up and down, and that way they could fit all the lights. Yeah. And I think that helped with production because I think if you hit the market with a gun that couldn't accept surefires, it would not have gotten
dead in the water. Yeah.
So they went back and did it right. Comes with all your plates, and I want to say they're going for like $440 online.
Okay.
So, an optics ready gun, 17 round, 3 back strips. It's a solid gun right out of the box for, especially for the price point.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Awesome. So we got tons of guns in here. Obviously, we're going to be talking about guns. Mike, MW Tactical, what's up with you? You should be happy today, man. I got another competition guy with you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but y'all both on that. I don't know what you call that. What, bullpup? Is that what a Tavor is considered to be?
We're,
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're aficionados of the bullpup. Do you have a beef with bullpups or something?
I don't have beef with bullpups. It's just the fact that my arms are long as 2 Cadillacs from 1976.
Come on now, I got long arms. I
can't hold it properly, so you know how it goes.
See, you see Adam. He's showing off about his long arms. Next thing he'll be telling us about his shoe size.
Talking about shit.
No, thanks. That's all right. That's okay.
Pull those feet right up there.
No, yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. So we've established you don't like the bullpups. What else? Okay. Fine.
Yeah. But outside of that, the only thing I'm looking at right now is I was just thinking about this 2 days ago. How I can do a big push to get those officers into jiu-jitsu training off that campaign I started last year. And I'm thinking of doing, bringing in some buddies, doing some concealed weapons classes, get 800 people through the class or 800 people to donate $50. And then we can actually put 4 officers through jiu-jitsu training. And it won't be like MW Tactical did this. It will be the two-way community. This.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's what my whole thing is right now. I'm just trying to think of a way I can process that and make it happen. So I need everybody's help. So come help me, and then I might go back to doing jazz hands. But until then, I'll stay with jazz pinkies.
Okay. So how do you want people to help you with this? So we got to know what's your specific plan here.
Yeah. If you're in South Carolina, hit me up. If you're interested in getting your CWP, hit me up. And then whatever fee is assessed with that, all proceeds will go to these officers getting jiu-jitsu training for a year. If you already have your CWP or you just want to help, go to GoFundMe.com/LEO training and donate that way.
All right. Can you email Lola or something, a link for that so we could throw it in this video?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, something like that, so at least we know. So you have a GoFundMe out there, and people can go and help you out that way, right?
Correct.
All right, cool. So, we'll definitely get into that. Maybe we'll talk a little bit deeper about that today. You guys, let's get into some news stuff here immediately off the bat, if you guys don't mind.
Hey, let's do it.
How about we get into some news stuff here? Let's see. I'm going to start with... Okay, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. Hold on a second. I got to figure out how to do this properly. Already running into... Okay, there we go. All right, I got it. I figured it out. Okay, so let's talk about... I was mentioning to you guys, there was a story on AmmoLand. Falsely accused Florida man has gun rights restored. So let's go into that one. I'm going to flip this up here on the screen. We have been talking about this. Actually, Babyface and myself made a video from the crib that we've been doing, and we were talking about it. So Osceola, earlier this week, AmmoLand reported on the case of Jonathan Carpenter of Osceola, Florida, who lost his gun rights due to mistaken identity. Carpenter received a letter from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs notifying him they had suspended his concealed handgun permit due to domestic violence. The charge came as a shock to him. So, we went through this whole thing before, and what happened basically, there was one of the police officers there. Obviously, AmmoLand wrote this article. A couple of other people picked it up as well. GOA started looking into it, and some of the officers there, some of the, I think there was, the article says one of the officers took it upon himself to take a picture of Carpenter and had another officer bring it to the woman who took out the restraining order, because there were these older ladies and there was a guy living with them and he got violent and threatened them, and all they had was this name that matched this guy. And so when they were looking for this name, they just pulled someone out of the list of people with CCWs and were like, we're taking away your gun rights. So one of the officers there took a picture of him, took it to the woman. She said no, it wasn't this guy. So that kind of like shortcut the whole process that he had to go through. So right now, basically, he's got his rights restored. I think they're still pursuing some stuff, but it's good news. The only thing I worry about is how do we actually stop this from happening again and again and again. We're going to see this not just in Florida where you guys are, or I don't know, maybe you guys have already seen this kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think that's just concerning in general that they can just go out there. I mean, just from a logical standpoint, you pull a random guy's name out of a hat that you think is the right guy, and you go take his gun rights away. You don't go talk to him first. You don't go, get a photo of him. I'm sure if you look at him online, you can find a photo of the guy. Ask him.
Well, on a if they use the CCW, it has to have a photo, right?
Right. There should be a photo right on the license. I mean, if it's like Ohio. I mean, but you liken these red flag laws that are going into a place. I mean, what's to stop somebody from next time just saying, yeah, I'm going to go for a restraining against this guy because he did whatever, and they just go randomly pull somebody's, guns.
Yeah.
I mean, we already saw it happen in one of the states already. I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking that all it takes now is somebody saying something or them seeing something they think they see, and now you can lose your gun rights.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the Second Amendment's there practically, is to stop that.
Absolutely. And it's why we have to push back every time something like this happens. We have to bring it to the attention of people. It's the reason why we're pushing back against red flag laws and all the other things, including the TAPS Act. Don't let anyone fool you. That's also another horrible thing out there. It's good that this guy got his stuff back. But yeah, I agree with you. Very lazy policing. What do you want to jump in here, Mike?
I was just going to ask, is that area like a small area, low crime area, or
Osceola?
Yeah, I never heard of that area.
I've heard of Osceola. Florida has a crap ton of counties, I'll tell you that. I don't think it's really an issue of that. It's an issue of these guys, these old ladies that live with this guy for whatever reason, they just had a name. And when they got into trouble with this guy, all they had was the name. The cops didn't have the guy or anything like that. And so when they went and looked in the system, they just came up, this Marine, his name just matched. And they're like, okay, then they sent him a certified letter, and they're like, you've got to come turn in your CCW, give up your guns.
If it's Osceola County, on Google, it says population is 352,000.
Yeah, that's big.
That's not a small area.
Yeah, that's not a small one. No, it's probably yeah. And just to think, like, what about people that have very common names in Florida, or anywhere else for that matter? Yeah.
Right.
Huh?
That was my concern. My buddy who was a Marine, his name was James Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like 8,000 in the township.
Yeah.
Common name, common problems.
Yeah. Yeah, they absolutely should do more police work than this. I mean, it seems from what I'm reading like they're kind of embarrassed that they let this particular thing happen, but it's just indicative of what's going to happen. Like, people want to do this on a national level. Look at the no-fly list. I don't know if any of you guys are on the no-fly list, but that's a nightmare, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there's people, there's soldiers. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say I never had to deal with anything off the no-fly list, and I don't know what the process is, but I'm pretty sure it is a major headache. Just listening to what everybody contributes to it.
Yeah. Right. I think that it's very difficult for anyone to find out who's on the no-fly list, why are they on there. One of the things they do know that there's senators, congressmen, soldiers that are currently serving right now, all kinds of craziness. Special ops dudes are on the no-fly list. There's all kinds of stuff on there, and they really don't know. Like, are people just putting their political enemies on there? How are people getting on that list?
Well, supposedly, last I heard, there's no process to get off the list either. Right. Yeah. It's not formalized, like write in, do this, get a lawyer. It's just you're on the no-fly list. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing that everyone's concerned with. I think that's the big thing that people are concerned with. Like, let's say when it comes to the TAPS Act. So basically, this is like a pre-crime unit that they've supposedly been using to prevent anything from happening to our politicians. Muckety mucks, higher ups, dudes, and people that come to the country and all that, right? So they've been using that system. And now what they want us to do is fund it more so they can use it against us. But the same kind of thing. We're not going to have any idea of who's on there, who they're looking at. You'll be guilty. You'll have to figure out how to prove yourself innocent. You know, they want to have the ability to just go, yeah, we think you're going to do something horrible. You're in lockdown. You know, give us all your property. Go ahead.
When you said pre-crime, it made me think of a Tom Cruise movie. Where was the pre-crime? And they, you know, like that. You know, we think you're going to do something wrong, therefore you're going to get arrested and put on ice, even though you might not do it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Minority Report. Minority
Report. That's what it was. Yeah. I mean that's just disturbing from so many viewpoints, especially when right now, I mean, where I live at is mostly pro-gun. Where I work at is mostly it's like, you know, kind of pro-gun, anti-gun. I mean, what's it going to take for somebody to say, hey, this guy, you know, we just think he could be, let's go arrest him. That's just disturbing. I mean, because, you know, nowadays you see someone has 1,000 rounds of ammo. It's considered, you know, like a stockpile. It's like shoot competition for a year and have less than 10,000 rounds in your house. I mean, I dare you.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing, right? Like, what about guys like yourself? You're a good guy. You've got a job, but you're also in the industry doing stuff. Let's say you bump into something happens with a neighbor, right? Or whatever it is, and then they do that to you. That's a massive, not only are you losing your gun rights, but it's massively inconvenient for what you're trying to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the one thing that always worries me is just from the standpoint of, you know, around here where I'm at, it's pretty rural, so they kind of get it. But, you know, for a competition shooter, most of the guys I know have got 10 to 20,000 rounds, you know, because you have at least 1 year of competition rounds in case the prices go crazy. And you might have reloading components, you might have powder. I'm like, you know, I'm sure I'd be front news headlines like, you know, dude with 20 guns and 20,000 rounds of ammo. And it's like, well, yeah, but if you're a competition shooter, that's average. I mean, I know guys that get 50,000 rounds delivered to their house from their sponsors.
Yeah.
That's their thing. Right. So I don't know.
Also, you're getting on planes. I'm sure you're traveling with your guns and all that kind of stuff. You know, no one's getting hurt. Lots of that's going on actually around the country. This is what people don't realize. There's so many guns out there and so many people doing things, all good guys doing legal things that they 100% have the right to do, and people aren't just willy-nilly getting hurt. There's deliberate evil people that decide to go out there and hurt other people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who Zeke Stout is?
Yeah. The big, massive giant.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
Zeke in left hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. What was that show called? Man at Arms?
Forged in Fire.
No. Yeah, I think it is probably Man at Arms. It wasn't Forged from Fire. That was the knife one. Yeah.
When I was talking to him when we was out in Vegas, he came up. He said this analogy that fit perfectly for what's going on. And what he actually said was like, if you have 2 or 3 children, if one child messes up, are you going to punish the other children for that one child's mistake? You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, that's a great way to look at it. Yeah. But then again, the people who are making these laws or sitting in these positions are not looking at it like that. They're just looking for the cookie cutter, one-step process, and it affects everything and everybody.
Yeah, they're just basically jumping on a bandwagon because this is the kind of thing that grabs attention, and you know, there's people who feel that they can make political moves out of it. And then unfortunately right now we kind of have like the NRA in disarray. So that would be the major force that we're pushing back against this right now. They're obviously not. So we have to rely on other people to push back against it. I'm not saying they're doing zero. I just don't think they're as effective as they used to be. Which brings me to the other thing I wanted to talk about. If we can move on to that. Now, there was a rally, which I didn't even realize this was happening. This was kind of like a last-minute thing because of what was going on in Texas. They decided to... There was a rally the Gun Owners of America put together, but there was a meeting that the Texas governor was having and not trying to invite gun owners to it. So this, you guys can find this on Truth About Guns. Gun Owners of America, Rachel Malone, and Stephen Williford rally at the Texas State Capitol. In response to El Paso mass shooting, Texas Governor Greg Abbott created the Texas Safety Commission. The first meeting of the commission took place this morning. The disturbing aspect of the commission is who it includes and who it doesn't. When Abbott first listed the initial participants, there were no representatives of the gun rights community amongst the distinguished participants. There was, however, a representative of the gun control group Texas Gun Sense. Abbott also included prominent big tech firms, namely Twitter, Facebook, and two individuals from Google. These are corporations that have defunded, deplatformed, and banned gun-related publications, retailers, and manufacturers in recent years. It wasn't until Texas gun rights organizations raised holy hell that a member of the Texas State Rifle Association was added to the list of attendees. There's apparently no truth to the rumor that he was forced to sit in the back of the room. So in response to these disturbing developments, Gun Owners of America's Texas Director Rachel Malone scheduled a rally outside the Capitol building this morning to let gun owners know that gun rights and Second Amendment freedoms may not be on top of mind when the commission does its work. Also speaking to the crowd of about 100 people who gathered in Austin was Stephen Williford, the hero of Sutherland Springs, who used an AR-15 rifle to stop and hunt down the man who murdered 26 people and wounded 20 more in a church there in November of 2017. So you guys can go check this out. It's a good video. I think, what is it, like 26 minutes long. Some good speeches. Rachel's always good. I don't know if either one of you have seen Rachel talk anywhere, but she's always good. And then you guys heard of Stephen Williford, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know what's disappointing in that thing right there? There was only 100 people in Texas that showed up. I know it was all last minute. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I do say, like, I think the numbers they turned out, the 100 was pretty decent. But was it like in the morning time when everybody was mainly at work? Or?
Yeah, it was about 10 o'clock. I mean, for sure. I'm not trying to. Kudos to the people who did show up there. I think it's unfortunate that they're pulling these kind of surprise things and all of this happened at the last minute. Like, for example, we didn't know about it until last night. That's, like, not really a lot of time to get the word out or make videos and try to activate people in Texas to get out there, which would have been great. Hey, you know, it would have been great to see 1,000, 10,000 people there. It's good there were 100, but I think we need more people active in this stuff, even though I know it's difficult.
Well, so you read that story.
Someone wants the video. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. I'll put up a link. Go ahead, Adam.
You read that story, and the very last picture is one of the protesters, like the anti-gun people, and it's an older lady with no shirt on, no bra on, tatas hanging out. She got a sign that says "Melt the guns" with blood coming off it, and her shirt says "Control guns, not women," and she's flicking off the camera. And that's supposed to tell you that she's sane enough to be at the table, I guess. I don't know. I'm like, I
control the tatas.
Right.
Yeah.
I put up to the camera, but I don't want to scar people here. So.
Yeah. 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 You know what? Go ahead.
I have to agree though. I mean, 100 people. You know, now that I just saw what the time of the meeting was. 100 people for like literally a couple hours. It sounds like that's not bad. I was thinking like they knew ahead of time, but. It sounds like they threw it together overnight. So 100 people on a work day, you know, that's in Ohio, we had a couple $1,000, but it was a Saturday. It was like known like a month in advance, you know, so for a throw together thing, it looks pretty well attended. There's a lot of dudes there with some ARs, some,
everyone had guns on our side. Yeah. You know what the thing is, if you notice, there was a lot of media there, right?
That's what it looks like. Yeah. There's a lot of cameras in the background.
Yeah, and I think what they're trying to do is make it look like we don't care and we're not showing up and like, oh, it's just, you know, it's just these guys. I'm definitely not knocking the people that did show up there. I just wish we had better ways of organizing and putting things together. And that's not really the fault, I think, of GOA Rachel Malone. I think the governor to do this thing, not include people, and then these guys to have to try to put something together at the last minute, it's better that they got there than they didn't get there. We just need to really figure out how to organize better than what we're doing right now. Even though we have social media, we're not able to actually use it the way other people are, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll say yes and no. I mean, we know how to use social media. It's just we have such a diverse crowd that when you start looking at people who are, you know, 60, 70, 80 years old, the guys at least I shoot with, they don't use social media at all. I mean, some of them do, but the vast majority of them don't do Instagram. They don't do Facebook. You know, it's hard enough to get them on practice scores sometimes here in Ohio to register and sign up. So I think it's hit and miss because you look at SHOT Show and there's freaking media everywhere. You look at NRA show, everybody and their mother's got something. But I think we're a very diverse crowd, though. I mean, we still have a guy, Dick, that shoots out of USPSA with us, and he's 84, I think, this year.
Wow.
So you talk to him, and he's like, he's got a flip phone.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he sends up smoke signals.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, don't text me, but you can call me. I'm like, all right, Dick.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, I wonder how much time they had to get that many people together.
They didn't have a lot of time. I'm just going to say that because I know we found out about it. Like I literally found out about it last night. I think at like 8 o'clock, after 8 o'clock. So I think we maybe had 40 minutes left in the show, maybe 30 minutes. So yeah, it's and then folks were like, hey, there's a rally going on tomorrow, and it's really tough to do this kind of stuff without advance warning. At the same time, I think we do have to figure out better ways to communicate with each other and get more people involved. Because yes, there are some of the older crowd that's not involved in that. Look, there's dudes that are not aware of what's going on with the NRA.
Right.
Probably the majority of the 5 million members of the NRA don't even know anything's going on.
Yeah. And it's I don't know. I guess it's interesting because I know a lot of the guys that I shoot with that would love to go to stuff. Most of them are give or take my age or maybe like 10 years older. They've all got day jobs, so they can't go to stuff. And most of us use all of our time off to go to shoots. So it's like there's no time off to go to the State House, to go to the Capitol building, to go to those things. And most of us are shooting on the weekends. So it's like, between kids, job, and that, I mean, it's definitely an excuse. I'm not going to say it's not. You run out of time, though. I mean, it seems like some of these dudes, especially these Antifa videos you're seeing, some of them don't have jobs, some are staying at home, and it's like, so they can go and attend everything. Yeah. Whereas, if you got a day job, it's just not always possible.
Yeah, Joe San said there was about 36 hours, so that's
not much.
That's not a lot of time.
Yeah. That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. It's not.
But kudos for the people that showed up, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And and then if you look at that video, so look, here's the thing that we can do, right? The past, we can't do anything about it. It already happened. Those people did show up. There is a video here. Here's what we could do. We could all share this and let people know and let people see this. And then in the future, what we can do is work on trying to figure out how, when things are happening around the country, how do we get everyone activated? So if that's in Texas, how can we get people in that area activated to go there and help get those numbers up, right? And then on the other side of that, when things come out like this video, I think if you look towards the end of the video, there's someone there in the crowd that starts arguing here with Stephen Williford, and that's also a very interesting conversation. That's where you see these protesters the counter protesters that were there. I think one of those guys, and he was like, God doesn't talk about guns in the Bible and all that kind of stuff. And they were trying to of course, okay, first of all, that was a long time ago, but they do talk about people being able to defend themselves. They do talk about that. So I think it's important to get the message out there, let people see that that's going on. I'm sure Rachel can use some help. I'm sure the GOA can use some help. The folks that are out there fighting for this, we can help them in the least way by sharing this stuff when it gets out there on social media, sharing it with your friends. So, so let's see. Motorboater said, I live in Texas and I'm on the GOA email list. And I heard about the meeting on this show last night. Yeah, it's tough. I just don't think they had enough time, man. Yeah.
No, I mean it's a couple of days, maybe a month would be great.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was a learning lesson. So I'm pretty sure somebody will probably come up with a way to do an app, probably something called 2A Rally. Something goes on, everybody gets the blast. But.
Definitely reach out to that governor in Texas, man. He needs to hear from people. Before he starts enacting things in Texas, I think he needs to hear from folks. And
I think that's the crazy thing. I think for some of us is Texas is supposed to be the last bastion of freedom in America, practically. I mean, then you see this stuff going on. It's like, Florida's already dipping and diving a little bit. We have some stuff going on in Ohio right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely worrisome just from the standpoint of, it seems like they're looking to go for everything. They're not just like it seemed like before it was, okay, let's not have rifles of certain kinds or not have magazines. Now they're like, dude, just everything, just wholesale, take it all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's disturbing to say the least.
I think they're also very well organized on the other side, man. Just think about the money that Bloomberg's putting. Like, who's putting money like that on our side? Who has that kind of money?
Right.
Bloomberg's he's putting up his billions. So they've got a lot of money. They've got technology. I could tell. Can't you guys tell from the way things are happening that they've got some kind of advisors that know about guns?
Yeah.
I don't really think they do.
I think they do.
Yeah, I think it's just more along the lines of, okay, what can we attack that? Well, I guess that would be the realm of an advisor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now that I've actually thought about breaking it down. Yeah. I retract.
I think they've got some advisors that know what they're talking about. They've got some people telling them about stuff now. I can from articles that I read and all that kind of stuff, I'm seeing like, oh, these guys, someone's telling them stuff.
Yeah, but everything that they're attacking, it's like they're almost flipping it to try to make an argument. So, for instance, such company comes out with a new trigger, right? And it's just smoother. Well, because it's smoother, it might, give you the ability to pull the trigger 0.5 seconds faster. But at the same time, it's not going to do that for everybody because because the way I pull a trigger and the way you pull a trigger is going to be totally different because of hand size. And but they're not.
There you go with the size again, man.
Hey man, big boys like big toys.
Seriously.
But the whole thing is they're not looking at the simplicity of things, and they're just using like a general to say, oh well, no, this fits in this category, is unsafe. Nobody needs it.
Yeah. James Miller gave us $5 here. He says, Luke 22:36, he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. There you go. That's a good one to hit with the white, like, babe, it's right here. 22:36. Ain't got no sword. Sell your shirt, buy a sword. Right? That's the simple. We actually used to have that on our business cards for our concealed carry company. Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's I just had a conversation with somebody, and it's I know from our standpoint, like it's almost impossible to think like a guy who's got to protect his household or a lady, you wouldn't want to have the best means to protect your household. But I had a conversation with a couple people, and they 100% believe, and the stat they always throw out is you're like 200% more likely to shoot yourself if you have a gun in the house. I'm like, well, yeah, but if I got a butter knife in the house, I'm more likely to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich too.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of stuff they throw out there. And when you talk to them, it's like, no. I mean, they honest to God believe it. He believes in his heart. There's no reason anyone should have a gun at all for any reason. And honestly, I believe he believes that. He really does.
Well, that's his right for himself, but not his right for us.
Correct. His feelings and my rights. It doesn't mean mine ended his start.
Yeah, he could practice that if he wants to. The rest of us have the right to do that. We were born with that. The Constitution, the Second Amendment, and all that kind of stuff is just something that comes along and talks about like, hey, this is something you have the right to do. I mean, what else can he say no one should have? Hey, you shouldn't have fists.
And that was my conversation. Is at what point do we turn to England where you can't have knives, where you can't have you look around now. I mean, I do like seeing it, but how many times now when you walk around town, at least out here, do you see someone with a pocket knife? When I was growing up, a couple guys had them. Usually tradesmen. Now it seems like dudes in suits. Everybody's got a pocket knife. It's just expected that you have a knife on you and a flashlight.
Everybody, that's what I was gonna say. Everybody better have a light and a flashlight and a gun. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm hoping it shifts towards that favor because it seemed like it was going towards us for quite a while there. Like more and more people like absolutely pro-gun, states and cities and townships were changing and counties. And now all of a sudden after these last two shootings, it seems kind of crazy. And that one shooter even said he was anti-gun and he figured if he shot the place up, it would shift towards anti-gun behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy to think that, even though we know that, we're still going the way he wanted. It's absurd.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's just giving them a reason. This is the direction they wanted to go in, regardless of what happened. Yeah, and he's just giving them a reason. We can't live by a few crazy people out there that want to make the world a worse place. We can't live by those people.
No. I couldn't even imagine being. Remember when that terrorist shot up France, and they had video, the cell phone video of the one guy shooting a cop outside of a window. Nobody could help him. The cop couldn't help him. He didn't have a gun. He couldn't help himself. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, how bad would you feel if you're the person videotaping a cop getting shot point blank because no one there has any means of protection to help this guy?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's insane. I mean, in Ohio here, you probably have 15 guns drawn if you tried that.
Yeah.
And over there, nobody could help the dude.
Yeah.
So I
think that's more of a nightmare. What you're saying, right? Not being able to fight back.
I think it is.
That's
I've got 2 young kids. I've got a wife. That's a nightmare for me.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody doing something that I physically can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
By some means necessary. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if people want to be safe, you can't have a cop everywhere. I mean, even if you want that, even if you think that's a better solution, like the guy that was trying to shout these guys down, I don't know what he thinks is the better solution to make the world safer. The one that I'm thinking is that you have to give people the opportunity. Not everyone's going to choose to do that. Not everyone's going to choose to find out about guns and train and take classes and carry guns and do all of the stuff that goes along with that. I get it, right? Like, everyone decides what it is they want to do. But if you have more people doing that, now you up the possibility in scenarios like that you have people that can do something about it and fight back in those moments.
Agreed.
Yeah. But also see it as a double-edged sword, not to talk the negative. Mm-hmm. But one thing I do see here in South Carolina is, and I'm pretty sure it happens everywhere else, when somebody gets their CWP, that's where it stops at. And people got this false notion that they can do everything they think they can do under stress without the proper training. Mm-hmm. So
training is really important. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, we see that here in Ohio too. I mean, I taught it for about 5 years, just CCW in general, and then a little bit of other pistol classes. We see the same thing here. The average person, it stops at CCW. It just they honestly believe they're ready to go. And most of them, I don't think there's any way you can change their mind. I don't. I think, they look and they go, I hit a pie plate at 10 yards. I could kill anybody, or I could defend myself against anybody, shoot an intruder. So
look,
it is a double-edged sword. I agree with that.
For most things, for most places where people are going to run into trouble, I'm not saying that that's the best scenario, but that could suffice, right? It could suffice. If you, and I think that I would agree with you guys that people need to voluntarily go out there and get more training, take more classes. I need it. You need it. Everyone needs it, right? But for most things that people can get into, like defending their home or something like that, that's good. If they got training, if they thought about that happening, absolutely, 100% they would be better for most places. Now, when things happen in public, that's definitely something that you want to think about before you're actually in public and things go wrong. Because there's a lot of things that could go wrong. You could be there could be a bad guy there doing something, and you're responding to that, but someone else shows up, and they don't know who the good guys and the bad guys are. And that's not just the police, and there's all kinds of things that go into that. So for sure, training, practice, thinking about these things before they happen could help there. But in a situation like sometimes what happens in a lot of these cases, in most of these cases, these guys go after easy victims, right? And they wind up having people like backed into a corner somewhere and you've got nothing. In that moment, it's better to have something and not any kind of training than nothing at all. And all you could do is just pray or beg someone.
Yeah,
when you have to spray and pray, sometimes that is your best option till you can get it under control.
Yeah, I look at it as, I've had a lot of ladies come through our class, CCW class, a lot of single moms, things like that, even single dads. And when you look at it, I mean, we spent about 4 hours in the range for my CCW class. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but for Ohio CCW, it's a lot. But I figure at least they've got something to protect themselves. We've got some. I mean, everybody has rough areas. We got some rough, low-income areas here that have got some crime. And I figure I'm more happy they have it than they don't. But I'd love them to get more training, yes. But our average income here in this county is like $40,000 for a family of 4.
Wow.
There's no disposable income to go get training, which I wish there was. But it's kind of like, at least they have something to defend themselves, because we had someone try to break into our house a year ago, I want to say. And I called the sheriff's office, and they're like, it'll be 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, sweet. I'm like, lock
bring
them
some
up,
ambulances.
Yeah. Right. So, I yelled out, said I got a gun. They took off. The 4 dudes jumped in a car, took off, and they tried another house down the road. And in that house, the guy let loose from his porch, hit their car like 4 times.
Wow.
And that's how they got them.
Well, these guys were brazen, man. They were just going, like, you weren't enough, right? They went right after another guy.
I was, at least that we know of, I was the second house. That house was the third house. And the cops caught him because of some of the bullet holes in the car. And tactics, really not there. You shouldn't shoot a fleeing suspect. But that's how they caught him, was all these bullet holes to the car. And there's 4 of them in there. And it's like, if you didn't have a gun and you're home alone, they take you 30 minutes. What can 4 dudes do to you in 30 minutes? I mean,
a lot.
That's some bad odds, especially when they're probably
they could do it and leave. They could be gone.
Right. Yeah. That's a rough outcome. So, I had 2 kids. My wife was freaking out. I wouldn't want to be unarmed. That's my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get to this real quick. Armament and Axes gave us a couple of bucks here. He says, where is he in Ohio? Come to Creator Summit. So that's from Armament and Axes. They want to know where you are. That you could divulge.
Yeah. It's so I'm in Geneva, Ohio. I'm up by the lake. I know what Creator Summit is. I did not go. I think it was this year. I didn't get to go. But if he hits me up or hits you up, do my information, send it to me. And I'll definitely try to bring the Hollow Sun IWI goodness and everything else. Okay.
All right. There you go. Let me see. What was I? We were getting into a bunch of stuff here before I somehow sidetracked there. Yeah, we definitely need to be able to defend ourselves. We should never give that up. No one's going to stop it. There's no way of actually stopping it. We're talking about real old technology here. Rock in cylinder, propelled. Not complicated. So, I think we're still running off of tech from literally a couple hundred years ago. So, okay, let me see. That was a good video. If it's on Truth About Guns for anyone that's looking for it, that's the easiest way to find it. If you look up Rachel Malone, you'll probably find it as well. I think she gave a really good speech there. So I want to encourage everyone to check that out. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Were there some other things you guys... Was there anything you wanted to talk about, Adam? We brought up 2 of my things. We want to get into 2 of your things.
The one thing, with everybody going after, what they're calling assault rifles, which that's not what they are. I was just checking out some videos. We were talking about all the Antifa action that's been going on lately in different states. Ohio, we haven't had too much of it. But you look at those mobs, and they just had one where a bus of people was at a stop. They had brought concrete blocks in briefcases so that the cops didn't know they were blocks. They were throwing them at the bus, then ripping out of the bus, trying to hit him with a hammer. And there was probably 20 or 30 people there, and they thought it was hilarious. And they're like cheering each other on as the bus drove away. And I'm thinking, like, this is what not always the Second Amendment's for in terms of it's for tyranny, but that right there, defending yourself. When you have 30 people, what else do you have if there's one?
Where was this again? I missed the first part of that.
Let me, while we're talking, I'll try to look it up.
Okay. Was that in America?
Video. Yeah, that was here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was looking at was, I think everybody's seeing this, but the Hong Kong stuff going on right now, where they're waving American flags, calling for democracy. Yeah. And we have people here waving Chinese flags, asking for socialism. And it's like, they're living it, and they're waving American flags, telling you, get out of here. Yeah. And those 2 things alone are just, I got 2 young kids, like I keep saying, I mean, that's just scary to me that, I look at how far we've come since my dad was younger to where we're at now. And I'm thinking, where are we going to be at in 20 more years if we just keep trading liberty for security every time we feel something? That's what's insane to me is, someone says they feel hurt and we just make laws and stuff to take liberties away from everybody else. And, where are we in 20, is this 1984 or what is it? I don't know. Yeah. It's scary.
It is. Let me see. Archangel, I don't know if you wanted to chime in on that, Mike. Archangel says, what does he say here? What about taking away armed security for gun control politicians and make them go unprotected, like what they want, and see what happens? It'll never happen. They'll never do it. It's just like you're talking about, like healthcare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they give us the special healthcare they have? No,
Right.
they didn't do that. They did
We got
not
the
do
Affordable
that.
Care Act.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead, we got something else. That's just the way those guys see the world. They see the world like they have to be defended. We don't have to be defended. And then some people out there are volunteering for slavery. I think, like, I saw someone saying here, like someone saying here in the chat that how can people who think the cops are so terrible? I'm not 100% agreeing with that. I think there are some really, really horrible, bad cops out there. But, how can you believe that and then at the same time go, well, yeah, let's disarm? What is your plan to actually save yourself or the people that you care about? If you think the government's so bad, why do you want to give up your guns to the government? I'm sorry, go ahead, Adam.
No, I mean, you see it all the time on Facebook or Instagram. It's funny that if you really, honest to God, think that the police and the president are Nazis, why would you give up your guns? Like, honest to God, if you think they're legit gas chamber Nazis, you should be piling ammo up to your face in your house.
Yeah,
thinking,
what are you doing?
The stuff's about to go down. Like, I better be ready to just take out whatever I have to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, give up your guns, let the Nazis take over. I guess I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive.
Yeah. If you think there's all these horrible people in the world, what's up with you? If you think the government's being run by bad people, if you don't like Trump, why do you want to give up your guns to the government?
That's what I don't get.
Trump is the government. In case you
Right.
you don't realize this. He's in the government.
It looks like
he's all the way on top.
There's people with those bricks were in Portland, Oregon, it says.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's Antifa
Portland
City
again.
right there, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course,
Yeah.
Portland again.
Mm-hmm. They've got a serious problem there. The people in Portland need to be able to defend themselves. Isn't that where they knocked out that reporter guy? Like, I forgot his name now.
I think so.
Yeah. There was a reporter there that he was like in the hospital, man. He was like in a coma for a minute there, Had to have like brain surgery. I can't remember his name, but yeah. So
it's crazy stuff when you think it's okay to hurt your fellow Americans over your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I don't get where that comprehends to anybody. It's like, yeah, I can hurt a fellow American because I don't feel like they feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascism.
Yeah. We've got evil people out there, and then we also have stupid, sheepish people out there.
Well, the stupid people are making it harder for everybody, regardless of which side they think they're helping. Because obviously when you do something and then they realize you don't know what you're talking about, but you did it, now that gives the other side that fuel for the fire.
Yeah,
yeah. So.
Here's one of the things I have to tell you. Like, a lot of these people think like, oh, why guns? It's independence, the independence and freedom. If you're really out there talking about freedom and all of that, or if you're really against oppression, these are the tools that we have for that. Mm-hmm. Right there. Are there bad people that take these tools? Are there people with evil in their heart, like Rachel Malone was saying in her speech? Yes. They need to be met with good people that have in their heart defending other people. Right? That's how you deal with it. That's, period, end of story. It doesn't matter if you could wave a magic wand and get rid of guns in the world. And that magic wand also did some spell where no one could ever make them again. We're still gonna do this. There's still gonna be bad people, and someone has to stand up to those people. Bottom line, all the awesome things that you're enjoying in life is because someone did that and made the world a better place. So
I've always said that this problem would not take place if the first acts, the person was held to the letter of the law. Mm-hmm. And none of that, oh, well, your dad knows this person and he contributed this much money to this college. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the free pass for that. You know what I'm saying? Hold them to the letter of the law. And, I I mean, you might think I'm wrong for saying this, but I honestly believe if you go into an establishment and if you take the life of at least 3 or more people, your life needs to be taken for justice. An eye for an eye.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
But that's just how I view it.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I mean, we can argue the numbers, but yeah, you shouldn't be able to just go out there after innocent people and take them out of the world, and then the rest of us have to take care of you. That just shouldn't happen. Eli EDC says it's Andy Ngo. If I'm pronouncing it properly, that was the name of that guy that happened to, and. I am Gary K says Portland politicians were quoted as saying Antifa is not violent. They are protecting Portland from white supremacists. Okay. Yeah.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Archangel Michael says evil people drive through crowds of civilians. Yeah. This. People do when people are broken and evil and they want to wreak havoc and destruction on other human beings. They don't care what tool they use.
No, well, but then again, it gets to that point. Even though like we can still carry every day, and it's just a norm for us. But if you really sit down and you think about it, how the activities of society are ramped up now. When you walk out the house, your head is on a swivel from the time you walk out your front door. That's how scary it's getting. Because like I have that hyperactive demeanor when I'm out in public. I'm always looking around. I can never really focus on the conversation, but I'm always looking around. And that kind of makes some people feel uncomfortable or make it look like you're not interested in what they have to say. But like I said, that's just where we're living now, and that's where it's going to. Yeah,
but it's not a bad thing. By the way, Alec F1 says it's pronounced NGOs pronounced no. Okay, so there you go. Yes. All right. So
I agree.
Andy, no.
You got to have people. People will laugh when you say your head's on a swivel, but I mean, just in the standpoint of if somebody coming towards you that shouldn't be, is there a car that's veering where it shouldn't be? I mean, your head just in general, you need to be watching stuff because people do stupid stuff. They bump into you. They run into you. And I same thing. I get that same thing of like, why are you looking around? It's like, why wouldn't I look around? I mean, that's how you notice things. If nothing else, it's just how you notice things.
Yeah.
And some people like to live in blissful ignorance, I guess.
I think you should always be like that. I think you're just like that, Mike. I know that, it may feel like it's happening more, but I think that you're like that and some people are like that. I've always been like that. I've always been making eye contact with people, looking around, being aware of my surroundings. I think that's just a good thing to do. And when people are out there looking to victimize people, it's a crime of opportunity. They're looking for the easiest targets. And when you're looking at people, you're not an easy target anymore because you could see them coming. It's like while your parents taught you when you were a little kid and you started walking away from them, like, hey, always look out for cars. So if you see a guy in that car, make sure you have eye contact with him. But what happens today? I see people just walking out into traffic and they're not even looking at me. Because we made stupid laws in America. Like Florida has this law. If somebody steps into a crosswalk, doesn't matter what the light says, you have to stop and let them go. Okay? I get it. That's the law. I understand that. So now kids don't even think about that. They're like, oh, the law says I could just walk out there. Well, that law does not erase all the things that are going to happen to you when a ton and a half worth of vehicle comes down on you. So you might want to make eye contact.
Well, I mean, Darwinism used to do something. Now we protect stupid.
Yeah.
We just bubble wrap everything, and now everyone thinks everything's okay. And it's like, they did. I don't know. I mean, I did stupid stuff as a kid, but some of the stuff these kids do, I'm like, man, my dad would just slap the freaking hair off me. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I know, man. I used to get some of those lashes. Kathleen Music Lover says, I wear a paper sack over my head when I go out. That way I don't have to deal with reality. Okay, fine. By the way, shout out to CloverTech. I see CloverTech is having a heated conversation. Well, not heated, but a good conversation there. I just can't necessarily quote everything, but shout out to CloverTech. I think we'll probably have him here on the show at some point. So thanks to him for hanging out in the chat with everyone. Yeah. So there you go. I think I saw him saying something like he just doesn't feel like threatened all the time. I think you should always be on the lookout. You know, I feel good that way. Paranoia is a healthy sense of paranoia is good for everybody. You know.
Well, I think that's the true point right there. You can't be paranoid all the time, or you're never going to live your life. But you got to have a healthy enough sense, just like you have firearms. You got to realize they can hurt you, so you got to have a healthy respect for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing for that. You got to have a healthy respect for just things around you and keep your eye out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I say the same thing about fear as well, because fear is a driving force that's going to make sure you stay alive and you do the right thing safely to make sure you come back home.
Yeah. Dude Abides has a good way of putting it. He says situational awareness is wise. Public paranoia is another issue. So, yeah. I don't like crowds, by the way. I'm not a fan of. I don't have any kind of like phobias about it or whatever. I could deal with it, but I like nice quietness. Don't like lots of people equals chaos to me. You know, you never know what a bunch of people are gonna do. So,
I think half the people in the comment section are gonna get red flagged. Every second comment is like freaking Marxist. Totalitarianism is like in every third comment. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Clover Tax says situationally aware and paranoid are two different things, at least to me. Okay. All right.
I can agree with that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Do you guys want to talk about some guns? Let's talk some gun stuff. Let's talk some gun stuff. Yeah, I know Adam's got guns on there. I don't know who are you talking to the people in the chat, Adam? What are you up to?
I'm laughing.
Yeah. Never read the chat while we're actually doing that. You will get lost. Don't go down that rabbit hole while we're doing this.
Somebody put something like, "I dare an Antifa to throw a wrench at me." I'm like, I don't even know where we're going with that.
I can dodge a wrench. I can dodge a ball.
Oh boy. Good dodgeball. My favorite dodgeball quote. You know what it is? That's from the movie Dodgeball, right?
Correct.
Yeah. You made me bleed my own blood. That's my favorite. I love that. Yeah. Anytime Lola's trying to get me to do something like, "Damn it, woman, you're making me bleed my own blood." So she hates that.
Now, what you were saying about talking about some gun stuff, you know, I do want to talk a little bit more about that Holosun.
Oh, really?
What's up, Bubba?
Okay. All right. So we got the dude right here.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. What do you want to know about this Holosun?
I want to know if that Joker goes on my Q5.
Can we see a close up, Adam? Let's see. Put it up closer. Let's see what we're looking at here.
I want to know the parameters of it, how it handles, what I'm looking at. I want to know everything.
What's the dot option on this?
Yeah, so on the Holosuns, on most of them, anything that has a 500 level and above, there's at least two reticles. So you've got the dot and you have the circle dot. On the 507 like this, and these ones, the rifle one, three reticles. There's
you broke up there for a second. Yeah, sorry, you broke up for a second.
Yeah. So you also have on these ones, these are the rifle ones, so 510 and 512.
Yeah, you've got literally like 4 or 5 optics on that one gun just now.
I got a magnifier behind it because I'm being told 200 yards. And I'm like,
okay, yeah, you have a set of iron sights. Go ahead, put that gun back up for a second.
Right.
Okay, so I see iron sights. All right, I see an EOTech. I see some other kind of something. The EOTech I think is what's at the 45. Then I see some other red dot plus a magnifier.
Yeah, so this is our 510, the Holosun 510.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, right,
so
okay.
It's got all your typical your circle dot, your dot. Right. This is the 512. This is the fully sealed version of this guy. So this is fully sealed, so there's no rainwater, nothing getting inside there. And this is our magnifier, which I use because a lot of stuff we go to 300 yards. My eyes can't see this at 300 yards on a target that's a 6-inch plate.
Okay.
But to answer that question about at least this one, so you got 3 reticles. On our stuff, you hold down the minus button back here. You can change reticles.
Oh, okay.
The plus button can take you from solar to battery or battery to solar, because these do have solar panels up on top.
Oh, so this is both? It's solar panels and battery?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's a solar fail-safe. I always tell everybody run it off the battery, because the battery gets you 10 years.
Oh.
So run it off the battery. But if your battery died in the middle of competition, middle of firefight, whatever, the solar panel would kick in and actually run the optic.
So how do you force it to run on the battery?
Yeah, so if you want to force the battery, the
Just
plus
push it
button
forward? Okay.
right there. Push the plus button for 10 seconds. You'll see it either go from solar to battery, battery to solar, and you can make it do that. This one has an RMR mounting system. That was one of the things when we first talked about this optic. I'm like, please don't let's have some proprietary thing that no one has a cut for, because at the time there weren't these nice little plate systems. But it's an RMR cut, so pretty much anything that has an RMR base plate or anything else, you just slap it on there and you're ready to go. It also comes with a pick rail too, so you can throw on your rifles or anything else. There's a couple guys that run on rifles.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have, so this one's an aluminum body. We have one that's titanium, which is our 508. And then we have one that's fully sealed like the Aimpoint Acro. That's our 509. That one should be out very soon. It'll have a mounting system similar to the Acro.
Okay.
So I like it a lot, because my thing is I could never find those 2 MOA dots on all these optics. I'd be fishing around trying to find it if I'm doing fast. Because I don't shoot a lot of this. I usually shoot iron sights for 3-gun. But with this big old 32 MOA ring, I can find it super fast.
Okay.
And with our CCW classes and other stuff, people were freaking loving this thing, because it's easier.
What's the price on that? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the price, give or take, is about $299 for the red. It's about $329 for the green.
Okay.
And you can find them lower than that. Yeah, I'm not supposed to say that.
Oh,
you can find them lower.
What's your question, Mike? What's your question? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, can you control the size of the dot? Obviously you can control it with the light illumination, but can you make it bigger or smaller?
Yeah, you can't make it bigger or smaller because how the diode's set up. But we do have, as we were talking earlier today, so the 2 MOA dot, there's also now a 6, I believe it's 6 MOA ring, and the inside the ring is hollow. And we had a couple people put insight into that to make it, and they call it the CO, the Carry Optics version, to get a bigger MOA ring. A lot of times, as we were talking earlier, if I know there's no like super long shots with a hostage target on there, or no shoot, I'll just run the 32 MOA ring and just run it that way, because it's super fast. I don't got to line the dot up exactly. I know give or take I'm going to hit an Alpha or a Charlie. So I just run with that ring a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a question from Terribly Tactical. I'll try to throw in some questions. If you guys have any questions right now for Adam, you want to know something about Hollow Sun or optics in general, let us know. Terribly Tactical says, why are green lasers and dots always more expensive?
So it's a little more expensive to make the green, but your eye naturally sees green better. So that's why I feel opt for the green, but it's just a more expensive diode to actually make.
Okay.
And give or take on all the Hollow Sun stuff, it's almost always $30 higher.
Okay.
So it's not incredibly higher, but it's almost always $30.
Right. Yeah, and how does that price compare to like your competitors?
We have a great price point in the market for these things, and we've seen a lot of success with it. So I mean, I definitely say we're lower than most of them. We're maybe a little bit higher than a couple, but we've seen people like Aaron Cohen from I think Stage Dynamics. He just beat the ever-living snot out of one of these things, and it didn't miss a beat. And he's still carrying it to this day. I just saw a picture of him. He's got the glasses cracked in the front. He was racking it off of a wood barrier so many times he started to crack the glass. And he's still running, and he's like, it still works, still holds zero, still does everything.
Okay.
And a couple of like Chris Costa's now run them, and a couple other guys too. So they're putting high round counts of probably 20, 30,000 rounds every couple months through these things.
Okay.
What about warranty? What about warranty?
Yeah. So any of our elite stuff is lifetime, and any of the red ones have I believe it's 5 years on the externals and like 3 years on the internals. I have to look up the policy exactly. But what I have seen is that in general, as long as you don't try to destroy it like on purpose, usually you get taken care of. We try to avoid, at least from my understanding, what we try to avoid is, I know a buddy who works for another company, and when someone doesn't like their optic anymore and they know it's kind of the skew is out, they just destroy it and they go, hey, no questions asked, right? And all that does is raise the prices. And the one thing we don't want to do is skyrocket prices to cover people purposely trying to destroy stuff. Mm-hmm. Because then, again, it's that thing where someone screws up and it costs all of us everything.
Yeah, if you abuse it, then we're all going to lose, obviously.
Right. That's the thing we're trying to stay away from. Right.
Yeah. Dude Abide says, Hollow Sun military grade one-time prison site is awesome. So do you happen to have one of those there? Or?
Yeah, there's so this is one of them. This is the 512.
Oh, the 512,
that's actually made for a military contract at first. But there's also the tube-style sights. We've got the 515 series of those, and those are also, that's our duty line of optics. And so a lot of them have titanium in them, or fully titanium, and some other features like flip caps and kill flashes, things of that nature. Just to kind of step up from the, if you're just going out to shoot at the range and plink, you might not want to spend that money. So instead you go with a basic 503 for, $150, $160, and that's what you need. But if you're duty grade, you might need the flip caps, you might need the other things. That's when you get it. For this one, for example, what I like the most about it is probably the silliest thing people laugh about, but the battery tray, even though I never have to change the battery tray is a QD system. So you just take it and you twist this and the battery comes out. So there's no
easy access.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what she said.
Okay, you got that one in. You got it in. That's also what she said.
All right. So now, earlier you had said about the color of the dot, red and green. Is there an option, or will there ever be an option whereas you can go from red to green off of one scope?
I won't say there'll never be an option for that, because they're always come up with cool new stuff. The one thing that I've understood, because I was one of those guys when I got my first gun, I bought the red dot from the gun show for $25, and I thought it'd last me the rest of my life. Those diodes are usually stacked in order, and that's how you get to them. And what it does, that's why it throws your zero off, is you got to switch the diode because the colors don't mix. It's just each one's its own color. Right. So for us, you don't want to have someone, if I tell you to read zero every time you switch to color, you probably
that's
wouldn't
a pain.
want it.
Yeah, why bother?
It'd be more of an issue where people would be calling us left and right going, my optic lost zero. It's going to. You're switching the location of the diode. So, but again, there's so many things that they've been doing lately at the shop that I wouldn't put it past them to find a way to somehow make it work.
Okay.
They're doing new stuff all the time.
Which color is better for what time of day? So is like green better for daytime or nighttime, or is red better for daytime, nighttime? How does that work?
I've had really good luck with the green. My eyes see it better. I run a lot of red and green. Those are my two favorite. The gold reticle, if you're colorblind, you can't see red and green. You can see yellow/gold. Okay. So if you're colorblind, you can actually see that. And we actually had to test that out at SHOT Show and NRA Show, I think is when it was. It was SHOT Show too, where a lot of guys who were colorblind were like doing double checks. And when we asked what it was, they're like, "Oh, I'm colorblind, but I can see this." We're like, "You're colorblind." Like, yeah, so we have to show that off to a couple of military guys and some other guys. But the one thing I like about the green is that when I shoot a lot of competition, you'll see a lot of red targets. Like they'll hang up red targets. Mm-hmm. The red blends into it. You don't see too many green targets. It's usually red, white, orange, things like that. And I've seen the green holds really strong against those colors. Okay. So I really liked it.
All right, cool. Let's see here. Harry's Holster says, I was listening to a podcast today talking about a PD that's broken every red dot, and they haven't broken a Hollow Sun 507 yet. Laugh out loud. I'm not sure what podcast he was listening to.
We do have a couple PDs, and we have one of the premier SWAT teams in the U.S. running our 507s, the pistol one. One of the PDs actually helped design this for their specifications.
Oh, cool.
So all right. we have had their input on this stuff.
Sweet. David Cardinal says there was a recall on the 507C, which I run on a Polymer 80, which I never sent in. Do I need to bother?
If it's one of the affected ones, and I wouldn't want to yell out the serial numbers now because I'd have to go check what they were. Mm-hmm. There was a recall. Some of us who were using it early and ahead of time, we found that there was literally, we were talking about like hairs, like two hairs stacked together is the tolerance that was where you can screw in the bottom mounted battery, and they actually lifted up one of the wiring packs and disconnected the wires. So they changed that, and all it was the threading was just too deep. So we actually voluntarily recalled that as a company. We didn't want, from our standpoint, how good does it look if you know there's a problem? Your shooters know there's a problem, and you don't do something about it. I mean, that's how you go out of business. So we voluntarily recalled all the units out there and replaced them immediately. And even of those ones, it was a slim margin that actually had that issue. But yeah. I sleep better at night knowing that guys had it corrected, and they're not. I get contacted probably 20 times a week about Hollow Sun stuff. I'd feel terrible if I had to be like, too bad, you're out of luck that your optic switches on and off. And most people know me. I'll be on Facebook, Instagram at night, scrolling around at stuff before bed. And if someone has an issue, I connect them with our right guy immediately. Even if it's a small issue, like, they lost a screw. We take care of our customers pretty well. And I'm proud of that. I mean, that's one thing that I really like about the company is they stand behind the customers like 110%.
Okay. So after the show, I mean, we're going to talk about this at the end, but let's say someone's looking and they want to reach out to you. What's the best way on social media for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, if they go on Instagram, it's Adam_SASA, and it's not my last name. It's Shield and Sword Academy is my one company. That's what SASA stands for. And then on Facebook, they can just do my private or my public one, whatever. It's Adam Litke or Dash Competitive Shooter. And then on YouTube, it's Shield and Sword Academy, and we do a lot of stuff in there for IWI, Hollow Sun. We make some videos for them, stuff like that. And then if they hit me up, say they heard about from Hank Strange, we'll go and have a discount on some optics.
All right,
and that way they can
nice.
get what they want, and we'll hook them up however we can.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Mike, in regards to that?
All right. So say for instance, doing competition, and I have this on my Q5. Is it able to, like, as soon as I touch it and move, it wakes up or anything?
Yeah, pretty much all of our optics have shake awake technology, so it'll come on as you come up. And we had one actually. I think it was the French military at SHOT Show one year. Anyways, they lined up all of our guns and they actually cordoned it off. These two dudes looked like they could have bench pressed a tank, and they wouldn't let anybody touch these guns. And they made them all turn off. It's about 15 minutes till they turn off, and they just went around. So they're up against the wall, and they just went like this, and they wanted to see if they turned on if they just tapped them. And all of them did, and that's what they were looking for because they'd had some optics that you were only getting 6 months of battery life out of, and they wanted better than that battery life. But yeah, I don't have shake awake. I've never had mine not turn on. I'd be honest. I've never had that happen, so it works very, very well. And then, like we mentioned before, if for some reason your battery went out, your solar panel would kick in. The reason I don't say I would run it on solar is most of us competition shooters wear hats. And if you stick your head out over the solar panel, it'll dim it down because it thinks it's in a lower light environment. So that's the one catch-22. With your pistol optic, it's probably less common. With your rifle one, it might be more common, depending on how far back you ride that optic. So, okay. But again, you get 5 years of battery life out of all of our rifle-ish optics, and you get 10 out of those pistols. So if you can't afford the 32-cent CR2032 battery every 5 years, you probably have other problems.
Yeah, you should. If you're a gun guy, you should have a ton of them.
Right. I mean, you can't afford a single round 223 then. So.
Let's see. We got a couple of things in here I'm going to get to. Brett Frazier says, "What's up, Adam?" That's from Brett Frazier.
He literally texted me and said, "That's what she said." So.
Yeah, no, there's very few people that are gonna let that go. Gibson Fender says, "Is Hollow Sun stuff handmade in the USA or mass produced in the People Republic of Walmart?" Crap, that's what he put in there. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. So he wants to know about the origin. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we actually have two. So we have a U.S. plant and we have a China plant. Our China plant, though, unlike what you would be used to seeing, we don't have someone else make our stuff. We own the plant and everything. We actually make the entire thing, including the glass, in-house. Mm-hmm. That's how our prices stay as low as they are. Mm-hmm. We don't outsource any of that stuff. And then the new U.S. plant is actually going to keep the prices the same, even with it being in the U.S. production.
Okay. All right. Hopefully that answers the question. Richard Hughes says Hank 10, to which Archangel says Hank 20. Killer Ratchet says Hank 80. There's people just throwing up. Yeah, listen. How are you going to do this code thing, Adam? People just have to mention that they heard about it here on the podcast? How you want to do it?
Yeah, just mention Hank Strange. And what I've kind of worked out is that if someone orders through me, what I do is it's a little inconvenient at times. I order it for them. It takes about a week to get to them, and I ship it to them. It goes to me, then I ship to them because Holliston doesn't drop ship anymore. but I usually try to save them between 12 and 15%. So
Okay.
it's a healthy discount. I mean, I make about $10 an optic, but it gets it to the user, and we try to help out the followers of the podcast and other stuff.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I appreciate that. That's cool. Terribly Tactical says, I want a hollow sun, then a dent sun. And boom, boom. Yeah.
You got me.
Yeah. Like you said, man, the people in the comments,
Right.
every now and then we got to go through and get them in there. Let's see. Okay, so what other guns do you have there, man?
You've got we had the Galil. This was the Galil that we were looking at.
Yeah, someone said this is like the perfect mall gun.
Yeah.
Mall ninja gun.
This is what you see a lot of is, especially the competitions now, you got a lot of like 150-yard targets and then point blank targets, especially in UML. So I just offset an optic to the side instead of learning my holdovers. I just set an optic to the side and run 2 optics.
Yeah, I get it. So you actually use this. You don't have all these optics on here just because you're a hollow sun guy.
No, yeah, I run this. I ran it for the Noveski back in I don't know whenever Noveski was in July of this year, and took first place in the AK division. And I personally love it. I love the Galil. I have a ton of fun with it. The hardest part is I can't run it in most UML matches because the ammo is magnetic unless you buy 89-cent a round AK ammo. So I wait for the AK matches where they let you use magnetic ammo, and then I run all that stuff.
Yeah. Brett says, nice Cerakote job.
Yes, that would be...
Did Brett have something to do with the Cerakote?
No, but he's sponsored by the same company. So this is last time I was on. We were looking at all the Cerakotes. Victor's Legacy in Fairport, Ohio, does all the Cerakote, and that's what we were talking about last time. So Brett will definitely rub that in, I'm sure, and be texting right now. Who Adam forgot? Yeah.
What's the name of the company again?
Victor's Legacy in Fairport, Ohio.
Okay.
And they do all kinds of Cerakote for all kinds of people. They do fantastic work. That's my Django Fett gun. And then we had a Stormtrooper one on last time and some other ones. So they're a really good company, mom and pop shop, and I'm blessed to be able to work with them as cool as they are. They keep a knucklehead like me around. So
all right, nice, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to them anytime. We don't mind. Shouting them out. So you've got the IWI, what is it, Tavor 7.
Yeah,
you've got that there. And so that's out now. Is the what did they call the 12 gauge one?
That's the TS12.
Yeah, TS12.
So probably it's the Tavor Shotgun 12.
Mm-hmm.
That one they're still in production with. They're trying to make sure everything works with that because everyone knows shotguns are notoriously tough to work with when they're not just pump action.
Mm-hmm.
So they're working on that. That one had 3 5-round cylinders that indexed. So they kind of have like a trying to think what the company is that makes that cylinder box, but it's kind of like that where it kind of rotates.
Something 6. What was that again? I know who you're talking about.
I should know what it is. I know a bunch of their shooters.
Yeah.
I just can't think
of man, what was that company? Yeah, I did a couple of videos on those guys. Oh, Cry Precision. Yeah, the Cry 6.
Yeah, they have one. Yeah. So there's something similar to that.
Okay.
This one I was super happy with because somebody was just telling me they saw this Tavor 7 online. They were getting it for about $1,800, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And for a 308, that's getting about 1.5. It's a bullpup format with a nice safety. And what I like the most, I'll slap here, so you can just slap it.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm getting some kind of feedback here. Okay, just went away.
Just went out.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. The pants says Victor's fixed my black powder revolver. So there you go. That's a shout out to Victor's.
There we go.
Yeah, he says he got the black powder revolver fixed over there. Does anyone have any questions about the 308 Tavor? I don't know if you... Well, okay, Mike, you don't like bullpups, so...
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just evil.
I'll take that today.
Yeah. Yeah. You just don't like the... just don't... Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I shot a competition with this guy shooting PCC, and he was shooting with a Tavor, and
Yeah.
and the whole concept of him reloading was closer to his shoulder, and I think it was new to him because he was kind of like hunting for the insert.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's I run the IWI Tavor with the X95 9mm in PCC. And it does take some getting used to, especially if you're used to up front with the AR. The nice thing is it's nice and back to your shoulder. It's a heavy enough gun. There's really no recoil. And then on top of that, Taylor Freelance made a 67 round magazine. Mine says Black Mamba on it. It's known as the Black Mamba mag. But I run that, and I freaking love it. It's just it's a good gun. It's a really fun gun too that you catch a lot of eyes with it. Whether it's Lucas Oil PCC Championship or JP, it's just it catches a lot of eyes because there's one guy running the bullpup, and it's usually me running around my Stormtrooper bullpup gun.
Yeah, I know it's a Grandmaster that's running Tavor also.
There's quite a few guys competing with Tavors out there. I don't know if there's anyone competing with like Steyr Augs.
I've seen a guy do it. I've seen a guy with the Kel-Tec before too, but it's usually like local matches I see him at, not
Yeah, there's some Kel-Tec. I know the Kel-Tec guys compete.
Yeah.
With the RDBs. Yeah. So I got an RDB recently.
Okay.
But I haven't shot it. I have done stuff with the RDBs in the future. In the past. Yeah, I will do stuff in the future. Eric Smith says, "How is the weight of the Tavor 7?" He wants to know.
Yeah, so the Tavor 7 is actually it's like the rest of them. It's heavier than your typical AR, but when you shoot it, you don't notice it because all the weight's in the buttstock of it, back here. And so I've really come to like it. It's a well balanced gun. It's got a great charging handle. It's got the gas port up here that you can use a 308 round to adjust. So you've got regular, adverse, suppressed, and bolt action.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super slick, and you can convert this from left hand to right hand or right to left in like 60 seconds.
Right.
So
okay,
that's good for IWI.
Yeah. Someone wants me to put my nerd glass. I forgot my glasses again. I'm gonna get in trouble with Lola. I'm supposed to be wearing my glasses when I'm doing this. David Cardinal wants to know, the Tavor have the Geisley trigger pack. I'm sure it's the same setup, right?
Yeah. So trying to think if I have something to punch this out with right here that I can actually show you. But so what I'm doing, I'm running the shooting sight tab D in here, and it does work. The only difference is because the bolt is so different on these, you have to take the trigger pack out to put the bolt back in because the trigger pack on these is a little bit different dimensions. So it's a 2-second annoyance you have to do. I have not tried the lightning bolt trigger yet though, and my understanding from the guys at IWI is it likely will not work. I'm kind of testing the trigger packs right now to see how long they hold up because they're made for 5.56. They're not made for 308.
Okay.
So right now I'm testing it because Art from Shooting Sight let me have one to test with. I'm hoping it holds up, but you don't want to go and just say, hey, this is for 308 and it doesn't hold up and breaks and.
Okay, so you're saying Art? Yeah, you know what? That's true. I think I did talk to Art and he said he was working on a 308, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're testing one.
Yeah, I helped run the rep group about a year ago in Florida for IWI, and we put the Shooting Sight trigger pack in that one. We had the very first one, and it held up well. And now I've got this one here. I'm about 250 rounds in, which is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. But for 308, 50 cents a round, 250 rounds is a lot of rounds.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to Art from Shooting Sight LLC, by the way. He's always working on cool stuff. If you guys don't know who that is, you can go on YouTube. I'm not even sure if those YouTubers allowed those videos to stay up there that I did with Art or not. So they might be on Gunstreamer or something. Brett Frazier wants to know, how does it group? How does a 308 group?
So Brett and I went out. We actually compared this to the SCAR because Brett has a SCAR, and the online IWI group was saying that the SCAR groups pretty well. It's going to destroy this thing, and so we went out there and did it. And this actually grouped better than the SCAR, both with ball ammo of 2 different types and with precision match ammo. It grouped better. So we actually had better groups with this, and given the SCAR runs $3,200 for a 308, and this is $1,800-ish, $1,900 online. It was really nice to see from my standpoint. Was how nice it grouped compared to another really quality gun.
Okay, so what's the twist rate on it then?
This is a 1 in 10, if I remember correctly.
Okay, all right.
And
Okay.
we had 3 different weight of bullets from 150 up, and we tried some matched precision ammo that was guaranteed sub MOA, and we had really, really good groups out of that. And then we shot out to about 300-ish yards, which isn't super far, but that's the max we had at the time. And we were plinking a BC zone all day long with just generic NATO ball ammo.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Gibson Fender says tell Adam to use tall ammo, 29 cents delivered, and he's laughing.
if I could reload it, I would do it, but I can't reload it.
Yeah, yeah. You do your own reloads for competition then, right?
Yeah, I reload 9mm. I reload some 223 and 308s, but
Okay.
anymore I've been buying 223 because it's just cheaper right now to buy it than it is to spend the time reloading.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if let's move on here in guns. Maybe we can go. You know what? Since we were talking about Kel-Tec, I'll go next, and then Mike, you could get ready. I think you've got one gun over there, right? You got a gun.
Just one.
He's just got one. He's got at least one that he could show us. The other one he can't necessarily show us. So here, I'm going to show you guys this. This is, I probably haven't shown this on the show in a while, and my thread protector is missing. But this is my Kel-Tec PLR 16, and I think this is like a Midwest Industries handguard that I have on here. I believe it's in OD green. You know, uses your AR magazines. You know, 5.56. Listen, it's very lightweight. I could literally tuck this into my backpack that I'm carrying very easily. I've done some videos on this in the past. I probably need to revisit it because I found out something about this that I've been meaning to do a video on. I started doing a video way back with my buddy Yak Yaz, and then he actually moved, and we never got to finish that video. But here's the thing I found out. So this gun is all good. Now, it's a piston, right? And it's all good until you put any kind of optic right here. So you can't if you put anything here and you tighten it down, it actually starts affecting the piston, believe it or not.
So is that not aluminum? Is that polymer or something?
So this is polymer right here. You know, and then obviously you can see the piston or the tube that the piston's in exposed right here. But for some reason, anytime you put an optic on this and you tighten it down, it starts like, I guess it crimps that piston and throws it off. Just that little bit of, I don't know, like how thin this wall is or what the hell's going on there. But that's what we noticed with this. I sent this back to Kel-Tec several times to see what was wrong. And then they would fix it and send it back, and I would still have the problem. And we were like, wait a second. Is this because we have an optic up here? So we took that off and we were shooting it without it, and it ran great. And then the minute we put something back on here and tighten it down, see on this polymer part here, you put it down and tighten it, it starts throwing the piston off again. And the guys at Kel-Tec were like, yeah, you can't do that.
So what if you put it on the front rail?
I guess you could. You could now on this. It would be fine because this is probably stronger, and you could tighten down on this. But you just can't put anything back here.
That's crazy.
Which they know. I was like, why did you guys put a Picatinny rail up here then?
Right.
So that's my complaint on this one. So it's cool though. It's lightweight. You know, just don't put anything. Just don't put anything back here. So I don't know, man. That's a little weird.
Optic.
Huh?
It's 2019. You need an optic.
Yeah, man. I mean, with this, for sure, right? You would want to put a red dot or something on there. So that's the problem that we ran into with this, for real. So I actually have video of it, but it's so old that I'm just going to reshoot everything and put that video out there again. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen that? Or is that just me?
I've heard of stuff like that on certain weapons. When you tighten down, it changes the dynamics, and then you got to change out whatever the polymer part is.
Yeah.
For something aluminum.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's just because that's piston, and then that piston's traveling, and something clamped down on there real tight is messing up the travel of that piston, which you wouldn't have like in direct impingement. Yeah. I know. Well, it's one of those things.
if you have tight enough tolerances, I mean, that might make sense. I mean, that's why I asked if it's polymer. If it was aluminum, it wouldn't make any sense. But if it's tight enough tolerances and that polymer is not thick enough, I mean, it's going to bend.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just enough where a little bit touches it.
Yeah.
Throws off the harmonics. So.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's like I see a lot of people saying it's Kel-Tec. Listen, there's Kel-Tec things I love, man. But yeah, there you go.
They make cool stuff though. I mean, they push the envelope with stuff. It doesn't always work, but they make cool stuff. At least they're doing something.
Yeah, but listen, at least they give you optics on. Iron sights. You got iron sights on there. At least you got
I'm looking to still get that shotgun.
So the KSG. Yeah.
Yes.
And the prices are crazy low right now.
Yeah, they are.
$699. That's a cool price.
I've seen those KSGs like 600 and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I still want one of this day, especially after seeing was it John Wick when he was ramming with that thing?
Yeah, when he flipped over the truck.
I was like, I still want one. All right.
Yeah. They've made those better. Those are doing better now than they did when they first. Like mine, I never really had those kind of issues with it. So mine always worked good. I know people did have issues. I think those are better now. So, and then it's like I said with the RDB, the only issues I had with the RDB in the past is if you're using like a GI mag, it can get unseated if you have a suppressor. So if you don't have a suppressor, it's fine. You put a suppressor in there just the way the gas is, because it's rearward downward ejecting, and I think you get extra pressure. It just unseats that GI mag a little bit, and then it'll stop working. But if you're using like a Magpul mag or something polymer, you don't really get that issue. So there you go. Okay. I am Gary K says need unbendable polymer. I'm waiting for a gun made from transparent aluminum. Okay. Is that the stuff that Wonder Woman had? Is that what Wonder Woman's? No, that's invisible something.
You took it back there.
Yeah.
Gibson Fender. It's so ugly.
Oh, what are you talking about? This one's ugly? Yeah. This looks like this. Okay, without this thing from Midwest Industries, this looks like the blaster that Han Solo had.
I mean,
it looks like the Han Solo blaster. Yeah, it's so ugly, it's cute. It's one of those type of deals.
The comments on your show are gold.
Yeah. Oh,
I like so somebody put tightening voids the warranty.
Yeah, Motorboater says they need to make a hammer attachment for Kel-Tec so it can be reliable. Yeah. People got the Kel-Tec jokes on speed dial.
It's pretty good right now.
Yeah. There's lots of comments going up there. No, listen, that's what we're here for, man. Have those conversations. I have a lot of Kel-Tec, so I'm not gonna say everything Kel-Tec makes is perfect because it's not. There's some things they have that are very cool. Some things are better than others, obviously.
Do you remember that movie, the movie Wreck-It Ralph, when he goes and finds the comments? And they say, "Don't you never comments on the internet?"
Yeah, don't read it. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is, man. Listen, that's how it goes down. There's some cool Kel-Tec guns, and then there's some. That particular thing, it was just so frustrating because I did not realize why this wasn't running properly. And we actually sent it to them, I think, like twice, and then we were just like, wait a second, could this be because we're putting an optic on here? Why that's happening? And then I'm pretty sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure when they got it, it was more along the lines of like, oh, we don't see nothing wrong. And they probably just put some grease in it.
Yeah, well, because you take off your optic usually, right? You're sending it, you take off your optic. You don't put your optic on there. But I did ask them about it, and they were like, don't put any optics on there. Yeah. I was like, okay, then don't put a friggin' Picatinny rail on there.
It's more for show that you have a pick rail on there. It's not for use.
Yeah, exactly. Then print that in there. Yeah. Don't tighten it. If you put anything on this pick rail, don't tighten it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the way it goes. The Archangel says, Hank, that Kel-Tec is a Ken doll AR. Okay, all right. And Joshua Joestar says, hey, Hank, look at 300 Blackout bolt action pistol. It looks like a Mauser. Is that the one that Gearhead Works has? Is that I don't know if that's what.
Yeah, I think I have to ask Paul, but I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get scope go broken.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what you got? What do you have? Let's get to Mike. Let's get to Mike right now. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So first off, I want to show this holster that I got from the guys at 77 Solutions, and their website is 77solutions.com. And it's pretty good. It's like Kydex and it's webbing, sort of like a hybrid. Very comfortable. Very comfortable.
So that's not leather then, is it?
No.
Some kind of
leather.
mesh?
Yeah, this is Kydex.
That's good.
Yeah, that's Kydex, but then it has like a holy mesh on the back for
cool.
ventilation, I guess. I don't know, but it's very comfortable. This is very comfortable. But then again,
and that's from what? Who makes those?
77 Solutions.
77 Solutions. Okay.
Right.
All right. Cool.
And then, of course, the gun that I carry in that holster is the PPQ from Walther. This is my everyday carry.
All right.
So, like if Hank was to step to the left or right, you know what I'm saying? You'll see that Walther on the wall behind him.
Right here.
Yeah.
Boom.
There you go, right there. You see that Holosum will actually go right here on that Q5. I'm just saying, it would look.
I think in that poster, it's a. I'm not gonna say it.
It's
Adam probably.
Just messing.
Yeah.
But then I also wanted to let everybody know, make sure when you're actually carrying whatever type of ammunition that you conceal carry with, that you actually change it out every so often. So if you're one of those type people that have your concealed carry ammo for 2 to 3 years, just change it out just to be on the safe side.
Okay, you're saying every 2-3 years?
No. I'm saying for those people who actually have the ammo in their magazines for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So I change mine out probably like every 3 to 6 months.
Oh, okay. Is there really a shelf life like that on the ammo?
No, that's just me being like little OCD with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Just go ahead. You see what he's saying though. You do see a lot of people who they go home at night and they take the magazine out, they rack that round out. I know a ton of dudes that when you look at that carry, that first round, 'cause they don't swap them, it's sitting back further and further into the case. You're asking for trouble, especially in self-defense. Every 6 months, shoot that ammo, put some new stuff in. I agree, man, 100%.
Like 6 months. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And just definitely check. Like when you get defensive ammo, I always tell people at least get a couple of boxes more than whatever's going in the gun, and test that. Yeah, don't just use the range ammo and go, oh, this gun's good.
Yeah.
Make sure that defensive ammo goes through the gun. And then obviously swap it out. And then if you switch ammo to a different thing, you want to do that same thing, right? You want to test it, run it through there. So. Yeah, and then I think that's a good point you're making, Adam, for that one round that you take out every time. You want to be careful.
Filtered in somewhere else, push it down, get rid of it. But he's 100% correct. You got to swap that stuff out. People don't do it, and it's for that. Whatever 80, 90 cents a round, swap it out, get some new stuff, put it in there, shoot the stuff you had, but don't cheap out when it comes to defending your life.
Exactly.
You just don't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Armorman and Axis wants me to give you his info, which I will give since you're in Ohio. Armorman and Axis. Yeah, I got you. I'll take care of that after. So copy that, sir. I hear you loud and clear. Let's see. DF2 dot says mark chambered rounds twice, then shoot.
Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of people in the comments that 100% agree. It seems like they're seeing the same thing. Like, you got to shoot that ammo, which is great to see because usually you don't see that. You see guys who've got that ammo, like you were saying, 2 or 3 years, and they've got freaking dust bunnies in it and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, every now and then. Go ahead. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say another thing is like take the magazine apart, stretch the spring out a little bit. Of course, put it in there, put it back in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Clean out the dust bunnies. You gotta you have to do that with your whole gun. Every now and then you do have to, like, you know, because especially in a Kydex holster, right? That's one of the things, like, I noticed. Kydex I don't know if it's just me, but Kydex holsters attract more dust bunnies over, like, when I go leather or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the kind of jeans that I have or whatever. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of that, whatever it is, dust bunnies coming up. Maybe I'm a dust bunny magnet. I don't know. But you definitely...
Where's Lola at? She's in a shower.
Yeah. You definitely want to go through that gun, though.
Yes.
You want to go through the whole gun. Magazine, gun, take everything out of there, go through it, clean it up every now and then, you know. Get that stuff out of there. All right, let's see here. Let me just remind everyone to smash the thumbs ups out there, by the way. Thanks to everyone who is here smashing the thumbs ups. We appreciate that. And let's see. Let's cover some more stuff. Go ahead.
So why is the Walther your concealed carry choice gun?
Actually, I was carrying Smith & Wesson at first. Then I actually linked up with Walther. And my first Walther was the Q5. And when I got it, I was like very impressed with it. And then I went ahead and got the PPQ and just made that my everyday carry. And I would rather carry that than everything else I have in my safe right now.
Cool. I think Walther makes really good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. But when I was out there at SHOT Show in January, I shot that Archon B. I liked that gun because only reason I liked it because after I shot it, I was like, there is so much you can do with it. It was like so much wiggle room that you can like do all kind of upgrades to it if you like. But by that one being a newer on the market, you know, parts getting it would be kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I think they make great guns. I've shot a number of them, and I think they're fantastic.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a couple of things here and what we were talking about just now. CB says, I like to know how my gun would have acted, sweat, lint, etc. Okay, yep. You know, run it dirty, see how it is. That's, you know, nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely test it before you need to use it for sure. Gibson Fender says, Hank, you need to lube up that Kydex, man. Wait, you got to lube your Kydex now? No, don't even try to trick me. I'm not going to be. I can just see that video now sitting there lubing the Kydex.
No, just take a oily rag and just take an oily rag and wipe the inside of it, you know, and it helps with the lubrication of the outside.
Yeah. I'm going to go super quiet on that one and just scare you. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about how you lube your Kydex. Yes. This is very necessary.
The show title will be XXX.
Harry's holster says the leather absorbs dust, which is eventually worse on your finish. All right, there you go. You know, one of these days I'm going to do something like leather versus Kydex and, you know, set it off. Maybe I'll do it. I'll do it one with like Harry's holsters, who does Kydex, and then I'll go do one with Sam Andrews. Put those two videos together. So, but there's benefits to both of them. There's always pluses and minuses. I know that people so a lot of competition guys used to use leather in the past. Most competition guys now Kydex, or how's that look from you guys to go out there and compete?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anyone use anything except for Kydex and Kydex/metal. There's some that have like quick draw that are aluminum of some sorts. Right. I really don't see any leather anymore. You do see a couple guys who are running like, you know, some old school revolvers that are in the revolver class. They'll occasionally run one, but it's pretty rare anymore. I know the reason I really ever hear people say they want leather, specifically when I talk to them, is because they're afraid of what the finish of their gun will end up looking like. And each person to their own. I mean, for me, these are tools, so I don't mind them getting scratched up and bent up and whatever. But you know, I mean, there's some things you have to watch out for that would do exactly. So maybe leather makes sense if you're trying to protect something.
Yeah. When I'm out there at competition, just like you, I see more Kydex being used. But if I see something like nylon or leather, it's normally somebody who's a new shooter, and you know, they're just being introduced to it, and somebody loaned it to them, or that's what they had.
Yeah, that's that's my that's gonna look. I mean, that's my daily carry holster. I mean, I think people think sometimes that the leather is more comfortable too, which I mean it can be at sometimes, but I mean this is from A&R Design, and it's got the little thing that kind of pushes your pants out a little bit, or it pushes it in so it doesn't look like it's printing as much. But I mean these are fantastic, and I carry this appendix all the time, and I don't really have an issue with it. So I think there's a lot of good holster companies out there, and find what works for you and carry on.
Yeah. I think, you know what, I switch up depending on what it is, but I know when I look at folks out there, okay, first of all, in competition, I'm guessing the cowboy guys still do a lot of leather. Yeah. Those cowboys guys do that. And then I see that a lot of people that want to pamper their guns, like you're saying, a lot of the 1911 guys are guys that have real high-end guns, like leather rigs and things like that. In some cases, people think it's more comfortable. Ultimately, it's whatever works best for you. Is what you should go with. Kydex, people think that that's the cheapest thing. Kydex can get expensive. Obviously, I'm going to say that there's probably leather can be the most expensive, especially when you're talking about some of the custom stuff that like Sam Andrews does. That's different creatures and stuff like that. So. I know. So, and then there's guys like, so for example, Babyface is getting a Python holster for his Python, for his Colt Python. I can't wait to see that, actually. That's going to be amazing.
Is it going to be made from his Python?
Oh, jeez, no. There's not enough skin. So
here's your holster.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Sam Andrews is actually building a Python rig for him, so that should be interesting to see out of Python. So it'll be really cool to see that. So Brett Frazier says double Kydex for competition.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw what's his name? I am Derek. No Kydex in the Old West.
Yeah, I am Gary K. Yeah, no Kydex. Well, you know what? That'll be funny to see, like in those Western competitions, a dude out there with Kydex.
Just all decked out in Kydex.
Yeah, that guy. That'll be like steampunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, no one tell Babyface about that. Hopefully, Babyface won't look at this. The Juice says LMFAO burn. Hopefully Babyface won't see this video. Yeah.
Hey,
what's up?
Have you well, I will actually say this. Go out there and try one of those cowboy action matches.
Mm-hmm.
You will have fun with it, because I had fun out there. I was just joking everybody. But they don't use your real name. So everybody has a nickname when you're out there. Mm-hmm. So when I went out there, I was just Big Mike. And some guy let me use his belt, his gun. He made the ammo. He had enough, and then gave me a 5-gallon hat.
Okay, 5 gallons. Is that big? Is that a big? I don't know what the gallons. I guess 10 gallons big, right? In the hat.
Yeah, I would take a 10-gallon was a whole lot bigger. Yeah, that's like circle big.
Okay.
But but he gave me a 5-gallon hat, and I was just out there doing it, trying to do it anyway. I was messing it up, but but it was fun.
That stuff's awesome to watch, though. I mean, those the SASH shooters are just crazy. I mean, they're racking that stuff. And it's just they're moving. Yeah. It's awesome.
I like looking at it. I haven't done it, but I'm thinking I need to get a single action, man, because there's just something like really super cool about those. And if you get one, you're gonna have to get leather. I'm sorry, Kydex. That's not gonna. That's just. I'm ghetto, but I'm not that ghetto. I'm definitely getting leather for that bad boy. That's nice. That's probably a nice open carry as well, right? If you can,
I'm not a fan of open carry, but
I'm just saying.
To each his own.
Yeah. So let's see. Killer Ratchet says Babyface has a Colt Python. Holy shit, that's his comment right there. And DCG 44s wants to know. Wait, there's not enough? How? We don't call him Babyface P for nothing. That's all you need to know. That's all you. That's Babyface P. Boom. There you go. All right. So let's see here. Let's see. There's a couple things to get to. Let me see if I can get to this really quick. I was telling you guys about Maria Butina, which I don't think you guys knew who that was, right?
Not really.
You don't remember Maria Butina? So just for the folks out there, do you remember the Russian spy chick? Maria Butina. That's the Russian spy chick that was like she's been bringing everybody down.
2-3 years ago, she was like in the news.
She's been in the news for a couple of years now. Yeah, she was associated with the NRA. She's like let me see if I could throw up some pictures of Maria Butina here for everyone to get a look at. But yeah, she was in the news. She had something to do with the NRA. You know, here, I'll throw up her. Here we go. Here's a bunch of pictures of her, and you're going to see a lot of gun pictures and things like that with her. So she was associated with the NRA, and obviously she was a Russian spy. You know, she's been causing lots of trouble. Where she just got the guy from Overstock, the Overstock CEO, just had to quit because he had an affair. Everybody had an affair with Maria. These Russian spy chicks don't joke around.
I guess
Chicks getting around.
Their milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
I'm telling you, that Russian milkshake, man. Jeez. Ooh. You know, Overstock CEO resigns after his deep state comments sparked sell-off. But if you dig into this, also he admitted he had a relationship with this Russian spy chick, which is interesting. She was just getting around.
So he thought.
She was getting busy.
Armament and Access says, was she hot? And then somebody else put ugly redhead with a ginger minge.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll pull up the pictures. We have the is she hot question. I don't know.
These comments are gold.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. We can look at what we got going on here. Yeah, she's all right, but she's not super hot or anything like that, I would say. Yeah.
I don't see it.
She was just Russian. Maybe just a Russian accent, you know?
That's what does it.
Yeah, it's just a Russian accent. You know, it's not. You got the British accent, you got the Russian accent. Which one would you guys prefer? Russian or British accent?
British.
British? I'm going to say British. I like the British accent. I want to check.
Yeah,
nice.
I'd agree.
Yeah. But, you know, you're not going to kick a chick out with a Russian accent either. Don't even lie. Don't even try to lie to me. Don't even try. Okay, so there's that, and then the other thing I wanted to talk about here while we had time is, have you guys ever heard of Kodak Black? Who's heard of Kodak Black? Who is that? Who knows who is that?
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Okay.
I don't think he's too liked in the rap community right now.
Oh, okay.
Because, right after Nipsey Hussle's passing.
He tried to get at his chick?
Yeah, he said some disrespectful stuff about her. What's her name? Lauren? Lauren London, I think it is.
Could be. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know she was in that movie Atlanta. So.
Yeah. I guess that's a violation to someone. If you're dead, I don't know what you could do about it, but I understand. Everyone's just saying that in public, like, "Oh man, he just died. Don't try to get his chick." And then then they slide into the DMs. Like, "Oh, you know, if you ever need a shoulder to cry on." That's called man business. That's how dudes get down. But okay, so people are mad at him about that. So here's the thing. He got in trouble. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but he got into trouble because he bought a firearm, and then they have that thing on the 4473 that says, what is it? Have you been, what is it? What was that? There's that question on there that they ask you if you're currently under indictment or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah. So Kodak's alleged firearm application lie is that he was not under any indictment for a crime that could land him behind bars for over a year. So there's a question there. And if you know that you are under indictment and you lie on that, you get charges thrown at you. So he was pleading not guilty to this and he was fighting it. He's got a ton of other charges coming at him. To be honest with you guys, like there was this thing where he actually went after like a rival. So there was a rival and he wanted to do a drive-by on his rival, right? So he went and rented like a Porsche Panamera in his own name. And then he went to the gun store and bought some guns and did this drive-by and then crashed the Panamera and ditched it with the guns after the drive-by. So luckily no one was injured, but he was shooting at a house that actually had kids in it and everything. So he's got all these different charges coming at him right now because he's basically an idiot. But,
Is he from Florida?
why you had to go? Okay, yes, unfortunately, yes, he is from Florida. Yeah. Whatever, Mike. So anyway, it's like Kodak Black pleads guilty in federal gun case. So now he pleads. So according to the plea agreement obtained by TMZ, prosecutors say they'll push for a lighter sentence than the maximum, which is like 10 years, because Kodak Black has been cooperative. You're not going to get this kind of. How can you have all these different charges going against you, and lawyers? I guess that's how it goes. So anyway. Don't lie on that form. Yeah, that's my advice to everyone out there. Also, don't do a drive-by after renting a luxury car in your own name. That is not in the
Ford Fiesta.
Someone get him the drive-by handbook. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought, hey, that's some crazy gun news that's out there. I figured I'd mention that before we get out of here. Just be careful, man. It's not good for your rap career. You know?
He's legit now.
Yeah. And Mike had to bring up that he's a Florida guy. I was going to try to avoid that whole Florida conversation.
And the comments are gold with Florida.
Yes,
right
I know.
now.
I see everyone jumping on the bandwagon.
I gives
it's too much. It's too much sun in Florida, I think. Just too much sun. People can't handle it. Yeah, definitely can't handle it. Okay. Oh, wow. We're over the 9 o'clock hour. Time went really fast.
Oh, wow. Already?
Yeah. Yeah. Florida Gun says is saying that he was born June 11th, 1997 in Pompano Beach, Florida.
He's like 12 years old. What is he doing with guns in a car?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. Listen. One of the things that, I applaud gun ownership, but try to do the right thing. This is not how you do it. This is not how you go.
There's two pro tips in your comments. One of them is don't do any drive-by at all, and one of them is try to do when you're high. So apparently they're okay as long as you're not high. I don't know.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. This is not the way you do it at all, though. He definitely didn't look at Boys in the Hood or any of those. Yeah. There's tons of movies on this, but that's not how you do it. And definitely someone like this, the fact that they're doing a plea deal with him is not... Look, he actually left and went to Canada and was coming back. He had different charges going on. I don't think he had these charges, but he left. He went to Canada and was coming back in. And at the border, they caught him with a gun.
Wow.
So
this guy is not too bright.
Yeah.
I've always said this. If you're going to live that life, and if I'm doing that and I'm always in the spotlight and I'm making all that money, wouldn't I possibly get my crew or pay somebody to do dumb stuff like that?
Right.
Don't do any dumb stuff. But this is what bodyguards are for.
The dude's got to watch The Godfather, man. The Godfather's how to do it. Never get your hands dirty. You got people for that.
Yeah, he got lucky in Florida. He actually could have gotten in, someone could have taken him out seriously. Seeing him do that drive-by. Go ahead.
Whatever movies they're watching and the editing on that movies must be very convincing for them to go out and do what they see.
I think a lot of entertainers, a lot of athletes and all that, they need to get someone needs to tell them about guns and how it works and how this, this can be the thing that puts you away. So don't do this stuff, and if you want to protect yourself and all that, hey, you have the right to that, but don't do this because this will get you in trouble. And they just need to find out the right things. I think that's an unfortunate thing. And the government here was waiting for him to go do that. They were like, oh, you went over there and filled out that form, huh? Okay, we're going to throw these extra charges on you. When you know the government's looking at you, you don't do anything. But whatever.
I like Richard Maunder. It says if Walmart sold drive-bys.
Oh, boy. Don't give them ideas.
I think a lot of that will also comes from those entertainers They come from nothing, and then all of a sudden, a slew of money is thrown on you, and you really don't know how to process that other than, oh, I've always wanted, or I can do this, and then that's when the stupid comes in.
Yeah. And also it shows you, like, people think it's so easy in Florida and other states to do stuff, and they think that no one's watching. Oh, these people are watching, you know, and they're taking action. And when you do stupid things, eventually it's going to catch up to you. So don't do stupid things like that, and reach out to someone that knows. Do better. Stay out of prison. These are all reasons for the government to enslave you, put you in prison.
Well, I think
not worth it.
One thing that concerns me is we're at the point, I guess, I mean, bad stuff happens no matter where you are in society, but we're at the point now that someone, I mean, this happens too often to account, that it's okay to shoot into a house with kids.
No, yeah, it's
I
not
mean,
okay.
At least before there was some honor with, like, you know, you just took out your dude you're trying to take out. Now it's like you shoot into a playground, shoot into a school, shoot into a, I mean, you shouldn't shoot anybody, but I mean, the fact that now it's okay to go and shoot up a house with kids, yeah, I mean, that's just low. I mean,
the whole idea of a drive-by thing is crazy, you know? I mean, so the fact that he just did that should be the end right there. Should be no more plea bargaining, nothing. You did this thing. Okay, that's it for you. You know?
Yeah,
and he's going to get it. Florida does not actually play around. You know that, right? So when all that goes through the court, Florida doesn't play around with gun crimes. Just, I don't think he realizes that. You get convicted of gun crimes here, man, that's it for you. So, anyway, we should probably wrap this up. we could probably keep going here for a while. He's not going to be coming out of prison anytime soon. We'll just put it to you that way. Yeah. So, you know what? Let's wrap this up here. Mike, how can the folks out there, how can they keep up with MW Tactical? What you got going on? How can they communicate with you?
All right, if you want to communicate with me, you can always give me a call at 803-250-1256. Direct line, you could text it, hit me up, training, gun stuff, questions, whatever the case may be.
I thought that was for the ladies or something like that. Okay.
Sure.
That's what the DMs are for.
Yeah,
I was going to say they slide in the DMs.
Okay. Potential clients.
If you want to hit me up on Facebook, you can just hit me up under M-W Tactical. If you go to Instagram, you can hit me up under at Munitions Weapons Tactical, all spelled out, or just do a search for M-W Tactical and it'll pull up. But most importantly, the one mission that I'm trying to push right now going into the end of the year, so I kick it off next year, is getting those officers into jiu-jitsu training for a year for free. So if you will, if you know somebody in South Carolina that's looking to get their CWP, send them my way, and we'll take care of that. All proceeds are going to this jiu-jitsu training. And if you just want to contribute and just want to help, please go to gofundme.com/LEO training.
Okay, and did you send that to Lola so we can throw it in the description here? You did? Okay, cool. So you guys should at some point, if it's not already there, find it in the description. All right, Adam of IWI, also Hollow Sun.
You guys can, you guys can find me at Adam Litke, Litke -competitive shooter. Adam Litke, if you're on the normal Facebook, Adam _SA on Instagram. You guys come if you're out at SHOT Show, if you're NRA show, if you're girl and a gun, TriggerCon, whatever, stop at the Hall of Sun booth or IWI booth, say hi. We did a bunch of that stuff. If you guys need an optic, hit up Hank. I'll have him get over to me. We'll get a discount code for the website. Just gotta keep in mind, it takes about a week to get to you because I gotta order it. It's gotta ship to me, then ship to you. But we'll hook you guys up there if we can. And hopefully I see some of you guys on the range. I'd love to go out shooting with some people and meet people from the podcast. I know last time I was on here, we had someone from there that actually came down and we shot a USPSA match together. So that's pretty
sweet.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah. Someone that was on the podcast?
Yeah. They'd hit me up as I was going, and they met me up there. It was a cool time.
All right. Nice. Okay. So let me see here. Let me actually drop the end on everyone. Just everyone sit tight. Here's the end. I know it's coming a little late. Make sure you guys subscribe. Okay. Thumbs up. Ring the bell so you can be notified when we go live. We will be back tomorrow. Thanks to Adam from Holosun and IWI, of course. Thanks to Mike from MW Tactical for coming in here. Make sure you hit these guys up on social media, or if you need anything else. Like I said, I'll pass on things and I'll get things going for people. We'll get that all worked out. Any final words, fellas?
Yes, I do want to say thanks to Gibson Fender for donating to that LEO training campaign.
Oh, sweet. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And thanks again.
Awesome. Adam?
Just say thank you to you and Lola for having me on. Hopefully I get to meet you and Mike and Lola at NRA show again or SHOT Show, and may hang out and do dinner or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely SHOT Show. I don't know about NRA right now. Right. But we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Thanks for coming on, man. It's always fun having you on. We got to get you on more, man, because it's always a good, fun show. Man. Yeah, and say what's up.
I'll slide into your DMs.
Yo, no, don't you dare. Yeah. Say what's up to Jeremy for me. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys. Peace.
All right, see ya.
Take care.